Welcome back to my channel. I am Audrey Marie. Hope you're having an amazing day. In today's reading vlog, I will be starting Hello Stranger by Katherine Center. I have read one other book by this author before, and it was The Bodyguard. It was I think it was last summer that I read that, and I listened to the audiobook version of it, and I really enjoyed that book. So I've had Hello Stranger for a little while now. I think I've had it for about a year. I've had other books on my radar. I really like the cover of Katherine Center's books. It's a pretty art style, and all the colors all come together really nicely. So I thoroughly enjoy the covers of Katherine Center's books. So I'm happy that I have this one. This book is about Sadie Montgomery, and she's a portrait artist, and she entered this competition, and then in the midst of being a finalist for it and trying to create the artwork to submit for this, she ends up having face blindness, which is a bit of an issue for her because it's her job and she needs to be able to see faces for her job. That is everything she paints, and now she's in this competition in this finalist position and she can't paint. She's having a hard time painting, and then she becomes interested in these two men, these very different two men, and the timing couldn't be worse, and that is a quote from it. So I've already started this book. I'm already 126 pages, chapter 13, and I'm enjoying it. I've already got that far in 3 days. And all I want to do is continue reading. This past weekend was very hectic. I was able to read a little bit, but not as much as I would have liked. We've been introduced to both the men. We've also been introduced to her face blindness and her sweet little dog Peanut and her best friend Sue. I'm enjoying the friendship between her and Sue's parents, and I find the relationship between Sadie's relationship with her father and her deceased mother interesting, because some connections between Sadie and her mother, and then also Sadie's relationship with her stepmother and her stepsister. There's a lot of different connections between different characters, and I'm enjoying it. I'm excited to see where this goes, especially with the two men. We've been introduced to both of them. Very, very different, but I have a feeling they might be the same person. That would be interesting plot twist once she overcomes the face blindness that she's been dealt with. I'm interested to see if by the end of the book she conquers the face blindness and the two men are the same person. I'm curious if that's where this book is going to go, because on the cover it's only one person, and in the book so far it's alluding to two different people. I find it funny, her best friend keeps constantly forgetting that she can't see faces, and she's trying to help her with the portrait competition because she's been a model for her portraits before. I was always intrigued as to why roller skates popped into the cover and why she's in roller skates in the cover, and I got to the portion where the roller skates get introduced, and so that really made me happy. I love roller skating and I grew up roller skating. I enjoyed that chapter, and I'm intrigued to see if the roller skates come back into play anywhere else in this book. So I'm enjoying my time while reading this, but I'll pop in again whenever I have any updates or something interesting happens into my life. Been a couple days. It's been almost a week now since the last time I gave you a recap on Hello Stranger, and I finished this about a week ago. The past couple of days has been my Thanksgiving break, so I finished this before I went home, and I just was not able to give you an update basically, and I really enjoyed my time while reading this. It was very predictable that two men that she was interested in happened to be the same person, and I find it interesting that her face blindness didn't fully go away by the end of this book. It somewhat healed to an extent, which was good for her, so she could finally see who she was talking to, but it also opened a new path for her when it came to her job. I I felt really bad for her with her family dynamic and everything that went on with the competition and her family that night. But I'm glad everything came out between her and her sister to her parents so they can work on that. I thoroughly enjoyed this. I'm not surprised I love this book. I just thoroughly enjoyed this book. I highly recommend it. I'm excited to get into another one of her books. The 2 books that I have read so far, I've really loved. I love the writing style that Catherine Sennar has in these books. For the plot, it made sense as to why her friend went out of town and her boyfriend kidnapped her, or fiance kidnapped her. But that was just a shitty move where you're her friend and she's dealing with face blindness and not being able to see anybody's face, and you're supposed to be the model for her competition painting, and you have like 2 weeks left, and your fiance boyfriend takes you away even though you promised her to be her model, and everything she did on that painting just goes in the trash. It was good for the plot line, but you promised her you would be her model. It was just a shitty move on both of y'all's parts for you to up and just disappear. She's already dealing with her face blindness issue. She's dealing with being worried that she's never gonna see people's faces again. She's worried about her living situation still. She's dealing with so much, even her family issues, and you just up and leave and don't help her. Couldn't your fiance have waited 2 to 3 weeks for you guys to go and do that? I got so frustrated with that plot. It made sense for the storyline so she could get to know her neighbor more, but just the simple fact that you up and just left your best friend when she needed you the most just rubbed me the wrong way. So that pissed me off. But I liked how she was able to find a model and how much he cared for her throughout the book. And while I was reading this, I was just envisioning that the vet and the neighbor was the same person throughout this entire book, because I had a sneaky suspicion that's where this was headed. You just could tell that he really liked her and would help her with literally anything. And it broke my heart when she broke up with the vet to be with her neighbor, but they're the same person, so she broke up with him to get with him. It broke my heart because he was heartbroken and wished her the best. It was a funny situation to be in, but it makes sense for how it all came about. But I thoroughly enjoyed this. I can't wait to get into another one of Catherine Sennar's books. So easy to understand, so easy to read, and I just fly through it. I just cranked this book out because I was really enjoying my time while reading this. So I just want to say, hope y'all are having an amazing day. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. Highly appreciate it. And if you're interested in checking out any more of my videos, I highly recommend go check them out. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day and spending it while watching this video. I highly appreciate it. So thank you so much. Bye.